everybody. Once again, I'm Lee McCrafton Jr., aka Zorval Chan Less Than Guru, doing my bi-weekly updates. And so I'll go through the games that I participate in as real life experiences. This is what I'm going through. A lot of this is just how I feel. Some of this has happened a couple of weeks ago, or at least one over a week ago. So those thoughts might be a little far off. So one of the games happened just yesterday, so those thoughts are kind of more fresh in my head. But these are all my personal opinions and stuff like that presented to you, so you can take mistakes I've made or that my group has made and learn from them. Here's Mars Video Cat. And as well as just figuring out what other gaming groups are doing, because there's a lot of times that I will either participate in a group, or I will see something on YouTube or other say Twitch or things like that will be those groups will be very different than how I play. And sometimes I really like it, and sometimes I'm like, I don't actually like that. So then I know to kind of stay away from that. Or there's sometimes, and if you watch any of my videos, you probably know, I change my mind constantly on how I view things. I was raised old school, and when new school started coming out, I jumped on the bandwagon. All of the reasons that were stated, and these are the solutions to these problems, I agreed with. I happily did that, and after years of playing that way, I started to have nostalgia. And then when I actually started to playing old school, I'm realizing that I actually like that. And some of those new rules I still like. Some of the old stuff I like. So, and a lot depends on what's the system. I always say, what's your gaming group? Who are the people in your gaming group? What is the system you're playing? What is the setting you're playing? And what is the main reason of that story? Is it a meta plot? Is it a open world, a sandboxy? What type of thing is your goal? And all of those will help you decide what type of game you want to run. If you want to go more old school or new school, or some old school from this areas and some new schools for here, and here, and kind of mix it to fit your goal. So having said that, I will talk about Pathfinder. And Pathfinder, we are trudging along. It's currently more of an investigation thing, and my character is not an investigative person, and people were actually apologizing, saying, oh, this isn't really doing your character much good. We're doing all this book research and stuff like this, and they know many languages and I really don't. And also being the class that I am, a shifter, they're not allowed to talk about certain languages that they know. And if they teach the language, it's even more like kind of the old school I remember from AD&D, that you get kicked out and you lose all your powers because you told the secrets. So I kind of deal with that, but I wasn't not having fun with it. I was letting them do their thing, and kind of just, then we went to the dream world. We're doing some dream stuff, and that's interesting, the way the mechanics are working there. So that's basically how we're doing stuff there. My character is a melee character. I'm a shifter, and my combat form is a dire tiger, which makes me large. So the one problem I'm having is the maps we're on are really, really small. Like it's almost like the map scale is like half size of reality, if that makes any sense. A lot of the rooms we go in are really, really small. If I kind of think how big I am in this living room here, and I would make 4 for if I became a large size, or how big a dire tiger would be, I would still have a lot of room in this room. And we get to places and there's just not a lot of room. And when other people are trying to get into combat, sometimes I don't have room to be effective, because I need to be in that tiger shape to be effective. If I'm just in my normal humanoid, I'm a half elf, if I'm in that mode, I can do some attacks. I'm not bad by any means, but I am not fully effective. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to get around. But it's been fun. We're still doing the strange aeons. Sorry about that. It kind of knocked my table. So that was a game I did not yesterday Sunday, but the previous Sunday, and then I did Organized Play through Roll Hit Die, and I played a new character and did a Orish Sakellum chaplain. So that was pretty interesting. The character is I won't even say a glass cannon. I'm basically a glass everything. I decided to make my character all charisma and all spirit. And so I got, I think, an 11 in both my charisma and spirit, and then strength, dexterity, and mind are all 6s. So pretty low. 5's the lowest you can get. But I had a lot of fun with that character, and a thing that I'm toying with is when I play an Aurosh, is getting those Aurosh possibilities, which if you spend it and you want it back, you take a corruption test. And if you succeed the corruption test, you get that possibility, and you can just keep spending and spending and spending. Sooner or later, I'll probably roll a 1 and do a mishap and get corrupted. But I have an 11 charisma. That's going to take me 6 failed corruption tests before I am turned into a threat, an NPC, bad guy. So that's a long way. So basically, I built that character to do that. The character really thinks that he is righteous and he is, destroying the horrors and stuff, but that he's like, my mindset is pure, and therefore I do not have to worry about corruption. And that's where a lot of the downfall with the Sakellum is that they are so fueled by their righteousness that they are blind to how that can corrupt them. So that's a thing that I played, very, very interesting, on Wednesday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific. We are doing the second part of a Three Musketeers thing. So the last one was pretty fun, and we are playing the second one of this. And in this one, I will be playing my Akashan Edenos, because my Edenos was transformed into a space god Akashan reality, and I'm dealing with that. So that will be on Wednesday. It will be live streamed on Twitch, Roll Hit Die, and then that episode will be put onto YouTube. So that's my Torg game. And my Friday Earthdawn, had fun. I thought we basically what happened is 2 of the players couldn't show up, so the game master had us, the players that were there, kind of an earthquake happened on the mountain we were in. We fell into us that were there fell into a cave, and we had to we didn't have to. We explored the cave. We did eventually find out that there was no way out, and ended up having to climb back out the way we came in, after pulling, rocks and moving rocks and things like that. But when we were down there exploring, it was pretty interesting, and we fought this. It was basically an Earthdawn version of a slime creature. Sorry, Mars decided to bat off the mouse, and I just wanted to make sure that I didn't stop recording. It's basically like a gelatinous cube or an ooze or something like that. It kind of looked like a snail, but instead of having a shell, it was basically items and body parts and stuff that it stuck to it. It had a sticky skin, and one of the things is if you swung at it and hit it, you might lose your weapon. And that was actually kind of fun. My character is a weaponsmith, and I started off with 3 weapons. Started off with a windling polearm, windling sword, a dagger, and those were the 3. And then since we started, I bonded. It was forced. It wasn't forced. It was a choice. I had a choice to die or bond myself with a threat item dagger. So I bound with the threat item dagger. So I had 4 weapons, and I think I was the first weapon I hit and it didn't get stuck. The second time I swung, it got stuck, and then I went and got another one, and it got stuck, and then it got the next one. But there was other players that only had like 1 weapon, and their weapon was stuck, and they couldn't get it off, and then it would touch them, and then they were stuck to it. Or the Beastmaster, he clawed and got stuck, and then clawed and got stuck, and and it was like an acid, so it was burning them at the same time. It was fun. I enjoy stuff like that. I was not expecting that. I had never encountered that creature before. Like I've mentioned before, when the Cadavermen come out, and if you haven't played in a long time and you've forgotten about them, and all of a sudden they open up a can on you, you're just like, oh yeah, that's what those were. Or if you don't, if somebody in your group has not either doesn't remember it or has never met them, then you kind of watch you say nothing. You say nothing and you watch their reaction and how awesome that is. So really, I like Earthdawn. It's giving me that sense of I don't know what's going on as a player, and I like that. And it's just one of those things. As a player, I like the game master adding stuff and giving me everything, and then I like just playing my player. As a player, I don't like adding stuff to the world that's not in character. I like my character to do stuff, and if I want to change the world or something, I want to do it through my character, not as me. Now, I know that a lot of people like, and as a game master, I'm fine with it. They like, as a player, interacting with the world and adding stuff and doing collaborative role play and storytelling and narrative and stuff like that. Me as a player, I like you, game master, you give me stuff and I will interact with your stuff. As a character, I will that's how I interact with the world. So that's something that I'm really having fun with in Earthdawn. I'm looking forward to progressing and getting close to the next circle. So that was that. In Palladium, the group finally met the person who they're after, the person who has taken over the Dwarven Holt, and basically they got past and pushed their way through the main force. They went off on a little tangent and took out the side force, which was good because otherwise they would have came in. And then they hit the big bad end guy, I guess, but it's not quite the end guy because this fort I'm trying to do things more logically, and it's not always going to be the last room you go in is where the big bad end guy is. Sometimes the big bad end guy is straight ahead to the throne room, and if you can get past all the guards to the throne room, he's there, but there's going to be other people manning that building, that Dwarven Holt, that fort, whatever, castle, whatever the thing is. There are other rooms and other people in those rooms. So it's not just you clear everything out and then you go there. Sometimes you go there and you end up there probably maybe halfway through, and they got to the big bad end guy. But we kind of let the first round go, and then we paused at that point. So in 2 weeks we will pick that up. The thing that I'm enjoying as a game master about Palladium is all the stuff happening in the background. There's a lot of stuff going on that other players don't know about, and it's not necessarily that I want things to be secretive. It's that I don't think in this setting, this story, this group, this, like I said, look at all those things. Who's your group? What system are you playing? What's the setting? What is the purpose? All of those combined in here is trying to do a good narrative about what the players are deciding to do, not some overarching story that has a start, middle, end. They got a hook, they got a story hook, and they're going with that story hook. But what I'm enjoying is that it's not okay, you're the fighter, you're the wizard, you're the cleric, you're the rogue or thief, whatever you want to call it. It's not you, and this is what you do, and this is what you do, and this is what you do. It is you are random people in a group. You are people that when the call came to do this hook, you were the ones who stepped forward, and some people went, I'm a paladin, I'm a troll paladin, and somebody else came up and was like, I'm a shepherd. Now, in this game here, there's no shepherd. There is some optional OCCs, like the peasant. I'll just go down the optionals. There's the peasant, farmer, stable hand, so that could be a shepherd, squire, scholar, merchant, noble. But somebody came in, I'm a shepherd, had a backstory. People in town said, yes, this person's backstory is true. They were a shepherd. They lived out there. These bandits came in, they killed all of his sheep, they killed his dog, and he's had to be a refugee. He wants vengeance on these raiders. So there's that type of thing. So some people just don't go out and say, I'm a this. If you're a thief, you're going to be stupid going, I'm a thief. So even saying I'm a rogue probably get you in trouble. So some people are just like, I'm a stable hand, I'm a this, I'm a that. And like I said, other ones are I'm a warlock and no problem. I'm a wizard, no problem. I'm a ranger, no problem. But there's stuff in the background happening, and that is really fun for me, because I don't want it to get to where, and what's nice about Palladium is some people have played Palladium before, but I think I'm the only one that really game mastered it in this group. So a lot of people don't know what the different OCCs are. They don't know about what's available out there. They don't know about what the monster's weaknesses and things are. They don't know all of those rules that if we were playing Pathfinder or say D&D 5th Adventure or 5th Edition, that they would know. You would say it and they would know, and they would see somebody do this spell and they would know exactly what they were and what level. A lot of that is out, so we can go into what are the people doing, and if somebody has a question they might ask in character. But I will never say, you see this, therefore you know that this person is a 5th level this. I don't want that. I don't want that metagaming in there, and it's been really fun so far. Is a lot of stuff happening outside, and I'm adding little things in, and I do want to have a video later where I talk about adding little things in to change things up. Wait a second, that person I thought was a paladin, and in Palladium the paladins don't have magic, so why are they casting a magic spell? Well, I threw something in because that paladin fulfilled a vow, and his order, or the deity he was serving, said, okay, now you're going to get this spell. Now, that's not something that happened, because I don't want to talk about those in case my players watch this, but it's things like that happening. Say an elementalist really connects with one of their elemental lords in some way. Maybe they'll get an extra spell. Maybe they'll get an extra ability. Maybe something else will happen. I'm doing stuff like that behind the scenes, and that's posing questions to people. Why is this person able to do that? I've read this book forward and backwards, and that person shouldn't get it. Well, no, they shouldn't under their own use of the rules, but as a game master, there's other stuff in play, and that's what I'm really enjoying, is injecting little things into it. And I'm not manipulating anything. I am looking at what people's goals are, what they're telling me their goals are, and then I ask them, is you doing this in character, or are you doing this out of character? And I need to know what your character wants. Those are the things that I'm gonna pull and somehow twist. I like twisting things, but I'm having a lot of fun with Palladium game mastering, because there's stuff going on behind the scenes, and there's stuff that's going on behind the scenes that are having effects in game now, and there's stuff going on behind the scenes that won't, unless the players decide to do something. And if they decide to never do it, then those things will never come up, and that's okay with me. I don't think that everything that I come up with in my head needs to be put into the game. Sometimes I might shift it if it's something easy, like, oh, they walk into this circle and this thing happens. I might move the circle, but I don't necessarily have to. It might be there in a future game, future players, future characters, and things like that. So I'll go ahead and end that video now, but I've had a lot of fun the last couple of weeks in my games. Again, really enjoying Earthdawn as a player, really enjoying Palladium as a game master, and I was the whole Palladium thing was based on me having nostalgia and trying to figure out, was it warranted or was it just rose tinted glasses, and I'm finding it's a combination of both. But once I realized that and was able to add my own spin to it, then I'm having a lot more fun as a game master. And it's like, yeah, these are my home rules, these are my home brews, this is what's going on. And as a game master, I'm putting stuff into the world because I think that they're cool and interesting, and not necessarily because they come from the book. And my players seem to be happy with it. Like I've said before, I am keeping the XP secretive, and I've had no problems whatsoever of anybody saying, oh, how come they have this many and I only got this many? I look at what they did during the game. I give them stuff on playing in character, just goals that they might have had, either public or private. And all the little things that Palladium has a nice little list on. You get this many XP for doing these things. And it's worked really well. And then I get to send those little texts, or depending, I talk to different people outside game differently. So whether it's through Messenger or a text message or an email, it's like, congratulations, you made the next level. And then they can go into Roll20 and adjust their character sheet before the next game. So that's just something I'm actually having a lot of fun with. So having said that, once again, I am Lee McCrafton Jr., aka Zorbal John Less Than Guru. And until next time, I will catch you later. And let's see, one of these buttons, like I said, Mars. Hit the mouse, so I've got to go over and shut the video off.